Hey, say hi. Mwah. Your little sister. I called you Kelly. Mwah. This is Eli. Give me a second, baby. Have fun, ladies. Hi, everybody. Becomes reptilian. The average civilian. Okay, so whether you do or don't, whether you don't or do, whether you like or don't like or do like to don't like, whether you have an opinion that you voice or you don't voice by choice. To be human is to be persuadable, to be convinced, influenced. The conscience, that is. The conscience meaning like the breath of air that we breathe is like that bridge that connects consciousness to life. The breathing keeps us aware of, yes, so it's not what we know. It's what we do with what we know. Knowing right from wrong, it's just not enough. It must be applied. If we continue on this way, allowing race to disconnect us, politics to divide us, religion to separate us, and the amount of money we have to classify how fortunate or unfortunate we are, it just doesn't. Lummy. The L is for the love that this woman, man with a womb, is no different from a man, except she's a lot stronger because of the fact that she can. L for love that she taught me to possess, even though I wasn't always at my best. The U was for the unity she tried to bring to a family. And yeah, sometimes I feel like I know something, but deep down inside I don't know enough about the very thing itself, so I can accept that. That unity for family that will no longer be, because there's no longer the glue that she was to keep it together. 2 M's, M-M-I-E, Lummy. The first M was for the magically mythical seeming, because it was very true, way that she put life together for 12. No, we gotta count those of the 12 who bring more for Lummy to take care of. The second M was for the fact that she knew what marriage meant. It meant regardless of where the clown with which she chose to lay down chose to journey off to, that she had an obligation to not us, the kids, but to her belief in her small yet important amount of love that was inspired and filled, or should I say drilled, or just from her dad, granddad, but I never met him. So they say he looks like my brother Mike. All be good. Mike was a good looking dude. That's the 2 M's. L, the love, the U, the unity, M for, you know, you got it. Forget this I, because it becomes so interesting. It becomes so interesting that connected Lummy's name. Interesting in the fact that, or in the sense that I can sit here now and do the things I do thanks to a woman in my life that I allowed in, and others who carry that load of us all within. The family, yeah. Interesting, very interesting, because I can accept, embrace, I am better than I would be if I was bringing like most, men, they bring money into the house. Instead of that being my role to riches or to the path that others may call their wrath, I found a better thing. I found energy. Very interesting, the fact that energy would be coming after the I. That was interesting, making the E, L-U-M-M-I-E, Lummy. She passed me the torch, and that was the energy that came from that E, that completed that wonderful name, that special, that distinctive name. Very few people have it, except you, Kilolo. Lummy. The E, the energy that I can give off and help another to build, regardless of what their dream may be. I'm not so focused on that part. I'm more focused on what I can use from me as energy to help you see, because so many of us have sight but no vision. We're so willing to hate, murder, and backbite on others for characteristics over which they have no control. Why must I hate you because of who you love? How can I be so foolish to hate you because of who you pray to? How dare I judge you for your origin from which you arrive? And those you love, I dare to try and deny you the opportunity to do what I say I love to do. I love my children, so they say, so we say. So how do you see it so easy to destroy other children? I'll help you out there. You ever ask yourself, why is it I love my children so much, but I see other people's children not the same way? Well, this is what happens, especially if they don't resemble you. You've been conditioned, because the mind knows things, but knowing things isn't enough. What the mind does with what it knows. If you know that you don't really trust those people, or you feel different around those people because of the fact that you don't see yourself in them people. No, it's not because their skin is dark or light or they wear their hair a certain way. No, it's really not that. It's the fact that you've been taught not to see yourself in them. Easiest way to make a human hate another human. Teach him how to not see himself in him. It's called dehumanization. We'll get to that in another video. Lummy. Glad this worked out the way it did. Thanks. A wonderful world where no matter how bad things are, we can't let the thought of those things interfere with our imagination that builds other good things. So it's not about what the mind knows, it's about what we allow ourselves to do with that which the mind knows. Being aware is wonderful, but everybody doesn't have to know how aware you are of that which you are aware of. We good. It's Saturday night and I'm gonna let it go. Peace, guys. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to take you from the dark to the light with hopes of acquiring information and learning something different just for today. Young ladies, very important, not just to the future of life, but for the moment in the here and now. She's built to love like no man will or probably ever has. And when I say that, it's her love is the closest thing you can experience to that of the Creator. No, not her love for you, the one for the child, which is greater. A mother's love, the maternal instinct, it's more powerful than you think. A cat being raised by a dog, because the dogs, nursed off her. Little puppies being raised by a cat because, just like that, the cat nursed them. When we learn to see ourselves and other things as well as other people, we're able to love better. She loves that child so much, and most of the males nowadays, her counterpart, they don't realize that seed, because the deed is the seed. No seed, no crop. You got involved and brought life into the world. There's only one thing that can stop that woman from doing what you're doing, which is walking away. And that would be her search for the love. Her search for something to replace the love that a clown like you, who doesn't have any self-esteem, he might have himself full of steam, but that can't redeem. Let that attitude go. If I can sit down and play on my phone while I'm in the same room with my child, knowing my child's mother is not feeling well and she's watching this kid all the time while I'm out doing the little boy things that bring me such pleasure, forgetting that there's a little boy at home who gets no pleasure because daddy's pleasure comes first. The only thing that hurts the woman is her search for that love, and it causes her to neglect that child, who in turn, as time goes on, will grow to neglect her, not only because of what she did, and sometimes not even behind what she did. In most cases because we live beneath a system, society, that will teach him and condition him to neglect mom when his pleasures are important. We're conditioned to do these things that we do, and it's basic arithmetic for that entity which controls and conditions us. Our consciousness becomes reptilian. The average civilian has consciousness categorized as reptilian. When you get upset because someone did something to you, have you ever stopped yourself from getting upset because of something like that? By telling yourself, I've done things too. Maybe this person is going through something. Being kind is more important than being right. Have you ever been able to stop yourself from being so little that you have to belittle someone else? Well, that's pretty much a form of reptilian consciousness. You ever see someone stumbling like a drunkard or looking bad? Never, ever in our wildest thoughts do we ever take a minute to think maybe this guy's going through something. No. As Americans, children of America, children of the patriots of America, we're taught to judge rather than think that this could be me. We don't see ourselves in others simply because we've been conditioned to be disconnected because of race, divided because of politics, separated because of religion, and classified because we ain't got no money. But back to you guys, putting these women who have your babies through this. I wish I could give you something that I don't really know if I have, because I didn't bring any into the world. I was fortunate enough to not make this choice. No, we won't call it a mistake, it's a choice. It becomes a mistake by your actions thereafter, in your mind. But it can never be a mistake to bring a child in this world once you already got it here. You can look at it as a mistake before you do it and don't do it and use that as your excuse for not doing it. But once you bring it here, the only mistake you make after that is not making your stake or taking your stake or placing your stake, investing in that child's life. Forget about his future. Investing in his life in the moment. So right now, with that being said, I would like to share with those of you who believe that we live in such a wonderful. Don't you know, you talk about that boy over there strung out on dope, and you never knew that it was a doctor, just like the doctor who you go to, who started him on his addiction by way of providing prescriptions for drugs they know very little about to heal illnesses they know even less about. Make no doubt, you were prescribed opiates because that doctor is informed that he'll be taken care of if he can get you to take this prescription that you believe will allow you to be taken care of. Most of the stuff you're taking is poison. You become addicted. All of a sudden you go from having this house, this car, and all this money in the bank to a junkie, like the gentleman you judged when things weren't so funky for you. See, had you asked somebody or inquired, you might have found out that this guy wasn't aspired, he was inspired by a doctor for that which he got addicted to. It's not difficult to become a junkie. What's difficult is standing up to your friends, because it's easy to stand up to your enemies. You don't like them. Standing up to your friends, all of us, me too, I'm just getting better with it, are pretentious. We were born in this country, we came to this country. Wherever you are, if you're in this country, if you're surviving and making it through, you're pretentious. You're not being real. And you've got friendships that last forever, you're pretentious. Now if you got a friendship that's been through some rocky roads, that's a little more real, because you weren't always a yes man, so maybe your friend was upset behind something that you were willing to challenge him about rather than pretend it was okay, or telling him yes when you want to say no. I don't want to go too long, but yeah, for those mothers out there who have wonderful children, I know it's hard when you got a clown that only comes around when he's feeling down. All I can say to you is raise your self-esteem, ladies, because you don't need this. Take the money, take the help, because it's their job to do it. But you don't need to lay around waiting for a clown who ain't ready to lay his steak down. And when I say his steak, I'm not talking about his penis. I'm talking about his steak, his time invested in you and your child. So with that being said, guys, start loving them women. First, start loving yourself and recognize you decide your esteem, not everybody else. So get to doing something that matters. Peace.